Hi there, this is Izzy. It's month 1 of the Neofinetia root diary, and I'm afraid we've got quite a way to go, but we're starting at the best time of year. So, it's around March time here at the minute when I'm recording and talking to you, and so the Neofinitias are just about waking up. They're just showing their first new roots of the season. So, for the multiple low root Neofinitias that I got off eBay, there's a good chance that some of them will start to sprout soon. So, I'll just begin with some of the stronger looking plants for now. Here we have the Awaji that came in a second batch very recently. This one has come with one large root there, can you see? But I'm slightly concerned that it's shrivelling at the base. Now this plant is also losing one of its leaves, so it's possible that over time this is going to reduce down in size from its current 6 healthy as a baby and an unhealthy to perhaps just a couple of leaves, but that can be a form of the plant recycling its nutrients so that it can create some roots. We've got a lot of dry growth and old growth around the base of the plant, so we'll see whether any nubbins or any roots come out of this in the near future. This is where we'll be expecting any new growth to try and push through. It's looking quite dehydrated overall, so we'll see about that one. Next up, one of the stronger ones at the moment is a Shutenno. So this one came and is a very large plant with 2 new growths coming out the bottom, but it does also have a low number of roots. It's got these 2 main relatively okay looking roots but with dark tips. I'll just try and get the camera to focus on that for you. So I'm not liking those dark tips, suggests they're burnt in some way. So we'll be looking around the base of this plant for any new roots to come out, so hopefully it grows some soon. This looks dead and dry. I don't think that's going to be turning into anything, but I might try and pop this up with some of the long strand sphagnum moss because it just has enough roots to just about be able to do that maybe. And those dead roots might help me anchor it into the moss. If I'm unsuccessful, I'll pot it up like I'm going to pot up all of these. Next, one that's doing relatively well on the new root front is the brand new Komachi Musume that I was sent as a little offcut, a little extra. Now this one has 3 very short but good looking roots. You can see this one at the back is a bit black. I'm not totally sure why and I don't quite like the colour. But these 2 at the front, I have no idea if I can focus on them, but they look to have actively growing tips. You see they're kind of brown coloured. So fingers crossed this one's going to do something soon. I don't have a label for this one yet. Next up, second lowest number of roots is the Shinryukou. So this one literally just has a tip of a root here. So this root is 50-50 healthy and unhealthy. The rest of the plant is very small, very few leaves and not looking great. So I don't know whether this one's going to make it through. We're just going to have to wait and hope and see. But it was a bonus plant that I wasn't expecting to receive, so it's not too bad. We'll just have to see what happens. The last rootless plant I wanted to show you is the literally rootless Kybgen. Now this one, I knew I was getting it without roots. I didn't pay a lot for it because of that. But it is going to take some time for this plant to recover from its current condition, and we'll have to see how that affects the growth going forward. But down at the bottom here is where we'll be hoping for some new roots. So you can see there's some kind of bulging, some shiny bits down here, which is where the plant is starting to bulge. And on the other side we have the same kind of thing. Some bulges appearing. Now what we're going to have to do is try and keep that hydrated without any roots as best we can and see what happens. with all of these, possibly not with the Shuteno actually, but with most of these, I am going to try these little netted pots. So the reason I want to try this is for the very high aeration, but also plenty of sphagnum moss to keep the plants both aired and damp. So the majority I'm going to hook them in here and support them to stay upright and watch the watering very carefully. The last thing I want to do is to rot a little root on one of these or cause any damage or leave them dry for too long because they're just too small to take it at the moment. So that's my plan there. Now, unfortunately, there's just one more thing I need to let you know, and that's that the original Komachi Musume that I purchased has died or is in the process of dying, and this is so sad. What happened was an infection got in through the roots. So you can see that the roots are dry at the moment, so they actually started to go grey and then brown, and they were clearly not looking good. So I think my main problem with this plant actually was it was potted in bark, but it was also potted with a piece of root that didn't come from this plant and was still attached to the roots of this plant. So either the infection got in through the bark that it was in, which was quite fine, or an infection came from that piece of root that was attached to this plant. And that infection travelled to the core of the plant. So you can see the leaves have begun to drop off at the base, and they're still green at the top, there. And that new leaf sticking out the top has gone as well from the inside. Now, unfortunately, I think this plant is a goner. I'll keep it a little longer until all the leaves have officially gone, but sadly, the Komachi Musume has met its maker. But by some lucky fluke, the seller has sent me a spare one, so it's all going to be okay. Maybe, if this one stays alive. We'll see. Well, that's it from me. It's been fantastic to see you. I hope you enjoyed this root diary, and I'll keep logging the roots of these plants on a monthly or bi-monthly basis, depending on how fast they grow, and keep you updated. Alright, bye!